I just want to start up with this because this is my first time. I have not been speaking. If you look at that, I'm a real grassroots person. I've been working for past 8 years in Assam and Tamil Nadu, not in Mumbai or South Bombay. I've been working in Assam and Tamil Nadu, and they wanted to try, as the question of dynasty has always been raised in political system. And somehow they really wanted to try in my party that let us try this girl also. Is being a Mahajan is helpful for her, how she performs. And by God's grace, from being a Maharashtra's Youth Wing General Secretary to the National Vice President of Youth Wing, now I'm the youngest National Secretary in Rajnath Singh's team. So I think somehow you work hard, you always get your benefits. I wanted to ask all of you here, and there was a question answered by Ms. Sanyal, but how many of you vote? I'm sorry, I'm just doing a question answer. You said, there were too many people actually supporting Ms. Sanyal. So how many of you vote? All of you are young leaders, young entrepreneurs. How many of you are actually registered voters? That's lovely. And how many have you are actually getting into the process of being a voter, registering as a voter? That's a big number. Tedious job, isn't it, sir? Are you right now registering to be a voter? You just raised your hand. You must have voted 10 times in this country. You have, okay. So I'm just asking how many of you getting into process to register as a voter? Because we in BJP, I'm just starting up like this, have started this new concept because making a voter, doing a voter registration becomes too tough for us. It's tedious. Jao, get a form number 6, fill it out 3 times, and then you have to get many proofs. We in BJP have created this mobile application for all mobile platforms where in 5 easy steps, you can just register as a voter and register in your own Vidhan Sabhas. Now, how many of you are, do you know your constituencies? How many of you have voted for your corporation elections? And in Vidhan Sabha, Maharashtra? Lakshmi, you are a rock star. I support 377. And how many of you have voted for Lok Sabha? That's a small little number. This is what I wanted to ask you, how we are connected, all of us, set of people, to Indian political system. And why is that? As Mr. Rajan said that he doesn't want to talk about politics, but somehow each and every speaker is talking only about 2 things. Good governance, which is required. Second is entrepreneurship. They are all somehow connecting with each other. And what I really think, all of us sitting here, which actually are 65% of this country's population, 35, the country's 65% population is under 35. The first-time voters from 18 to 20 age group are 12 crore new first-time voters. It's been stated by Election Commission. 18 to 35 age group, 47% people are there who will be voting their first time or second time. Somehow we are connected to politics, but how? We are connected to politics because our day-to-day life is somehow connected to politics directly or indirectly. My father used to tell me that getting into politics is important because you can't do Samaj Seva, work for an NGO, of course it works. But when there is a policy decision for working for people, politics is the only career which you have to choose. And that's how my father chose the career. Then there is, a process. You have to work hard. You get elected by people. You work for the people. So this is how politics works. But somehow, when Mr. Rajan told me that this country needs good economists, I just wanted to ask him, last 10 years we had an economist as a prime minister. What happened to that? He's also stamping on it, and he's also assuring that we actually need new economists in this country. So I do agree to him also, because when you look at past 10 years of good governance, government, how we connect to government, I just look back and I see there is no presence of the government. What are the criteria to connect with government, connect with people? Are 3 criteria. The whole population's dependency has been increased by subsidies, doles of the government. The whole idea of making a weak stronger has gone to weaker, and a strong, which is a middle class taxpayer, has become from strong to weaker. Because somehow, I always feel, even in BJP, that's what we do, that when we had an NDA government, we always believed in 5 essential things which are connected to a day-to-day life of every person, though he's a middle-class person, lower middle-class person, or a high-class person. Those important essential things will be equal to be connected with people. Though dal kharid, if you want to buy a dal, you want to buy something else, there are 5 essential things were priced equally to every society of people. As Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, whose thought process, ideology we always take, that we have to reach to the last person of the line of the society to help him to help this country. And what do we need with that? We need a lot of investments of our own people. Their intellectual investments, which we are actually, abundance of intellectual investment we always have. Their investment of their entrepreneurship. How do we get entrepreneurship? The subsidies, the stress, the taxpayers, the income is less, the expenditure is more. The firefighting the Prime Minister was supposed to do, but is done by the RBI, but the interest rate has increased. But somehow the interest rate increase has made the inflation more common to people. Inflation is increasing day by day. So something has to be, we have to curb that thinking. I always believe when all the new policies have been discussed by Rahul Gandhi, he said there are 6 bills pending in Parliament and I want to support them. Give me 2 minutes. I'm a politician. You know what happens? Politician's heart and a mic. It becomes too tough to, it's a, yeah, we can't set them, you can't set them apart, a mic and a politician. But when Rahul Gandhi said in his speech and in his beautiful interview that 6 bills are pending in the Parliament and we want to support that bill. But somehow I really wanted to ask him also a question, that you do want to support a bill but you need an attendance in the Parliament. That is also very essentially required. And that's what we need from this youth. This youth is young, this country is young. By 2020, our average age will be 25 years old. We are impatient, we are angry, we are, as Mr. Tripathi said, we are angry, we have to consolidate our anger, put it in a positive way. But how will we put it? The economic policies are not helping us to put it. People are questioning your religion, people are questioning your thought process, people are saying this movement can take us forward, but that now is a political party that has to have an ideology. There are a lot of things we youth, we youngsters are asking, but there is an answer to that. What do we want? We want a good governance, a credible face, and a performance. When you go back to BJP, because I represent BJP, if you see BJP states, someone said we need a skill development work. I really would like to push you to Gujarat, where in Gujarat for past 10 years, we have created 900 skill developed colleges and different courses for people, because our thought process, our ethos, our culture always said, my son is grown, now he has to be an engineer. That engineer becomes an engineer, but he doesn't have a job as an engineer. Then he tries to do MBA in finance. Then when he becomes MBA in finance, he realizes there are many institutions, but he's not getting any chance to it. Then suddenly he feels, I should do some courses and work for it. So there is too much of a person doing, but not getting any result of it. Skill development, infrastructure, Mr. Rajan was talking about infrastructure. You can't look at of course we need a beautiful airport, we need beautiful buildings, but I just came back from Bhiwandi. And it took 5 hours. It's just a 45-kilometer drive. But it took 5 hours for me to come from Bhiwandi till here to change, look better, because I was in a better shape. There are a lot of things in infrastructure. I mean, I would like to explain this. There are a lot of people, I don't call you as an elite class, but you've been studying in good colleges, good families. I have come from a Marathi medium school in Mumbai. There is already a divide in Mumbai itself. My father always wanted me to learn in a regional language. So I studied my first 10 years of school in Marathi. I performed in that. So there is still a divide. My school is not doing good. And there is a good school when I send my son in a better school. I always see a divide in a city. So somehow there was a discussion about social media. I'm sorry, I mean, I was supposed to speak for 20 minutes, but thanks to all other people, they took my time. But there was social media, there was everything. Somehow the real world is out there. I'm happy there are a lot of people on Twitter, Facebook, we connect to them. But I always feel the connect with the real world and the virtual world is yet to happen. We do have a lot of issues. We do talk about many issues. Raga did this, and hash Namo tag is doing this, and Raga doing that. But somehow that is not coming to the ground. So the virtual world and real world's divide has to somehow come together. And I request all of you, I've been here, this American consulate. It gives me an immense pleasure to talk about vibrant democracy. All of us are part of this vibrant democracy. We want to believe in giving votes, be part of change. This is the Change Makers Conclave. The change is evident in this country. 2014 will be the change because 12 crore first-time voters will be coming and voting. And they've shown from the elections of 2012 to 2014, all state elections, they have shown the decision-making part, the decision-making percentage of 10 to 25% is the youth. They decided the government, they chose the government, and you know how many governments they chose, and they were BJP governments. So somehow I see the trend going well, and the change is coming. So at the American consulate, I just want to give an explanation that I always read, our democracy is same, we have freedom to change, we have freedom to believe, we have freedom to think, we have freedom to choose. That's how India and America are all about. But one thing always strikes me really well. A person who used to cut wood became the president of America, collaborated 50 states and made United States of America. People chose him. Now there is an example here in India too. We have a person who is called Chaiwala, who distributed tea, but showed his performance in 3 consecutive terms of Gujarat. And he tried and did, performance. We all are talking about audits, financial audits, economic audits, but there's a performance audit too. And Mr. Modi has performed again and again and again. And this Chaiwala, this country, this vibrant democracy has respected that Chaiwala, supported him through the vibrant democracy, through voting. And in Gujarat, you can see 3 consecutive terms, Madhya Pradesh 3 consecutive terms, Chhattisgarh with PDS system, because all the system populist decision which Congress is making, you always say good economics is bad politics. And that's what Congress always believed. That's why a good politics is bad economic. And that's what you've been seeing for past 10 years. But BJP, we mean business, no institutional corruption. We mean belief in change, and real change had come from our pilot projects in our states. Now we're just waiting for 2014, where a Chaiwala, you will be having right to choose him to lead this country, to make the real change. Thank you very much.